What's going on? Welcome back to 100% NUFC. So it's just finished at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 1, and we got what we deserved, unfortunately, and that was absolutely nothing. Now, Rafa Benitez played pretty much the same formation that played against Chelsea. 5 at the back, sort of 3 in midfield, then sort of a number 10 and then a striker up front on his own. So the team that he chose was in goal, Dubravka, the back 4, or the back 5 should I say, of Jamal Lascelles, Kieran Clark and Fernandes, Dummett and Yedlin. In the midfield, he chose Diarme, Key and Kennedy, and then he played sort of by himself in the number 10, Perez, and up front Salomon Rondon. Now, I always knew this game was going to be tough. I wasn't confident going into the game, and for a long period of this game, we just weren't good enough. We didn't show any attacking prowess whatsoever. Now, let's go into the first half. So, Man City had that first attack through Riyad Mahrez, when he burst through into the box. Nobody was picking him up, and he had a free run at Dubravka, and he put it wide of Dubravka's right-hand post. He should really be putting that into the bottom corner. It was poor marking by ourselves. Then Aguero also missed an opportunity. He picked up the ball, he let rip from about 30 to 40 yards out, and he put it just agony wide, should I say, of Dubravka's right-hand post. He should have put that in the top corner. More poor marking from ourselves, and then we just couldn't really deal with Man City's threat. They were all over. They were with the possession. With the skill of Aguero, Sterling just caused us problems, and Sterling put Man City ahead after 7 minutes, and we got what we deserved at that point. We just didn't really start well at all. Too defensive, and for playing 5 at the back, you wouldn't have thought that we had 5 at the back. By the way, that Man City at that point when your carving were open, and they finally made that pressure count. Raheem Sterling picked up the ball, nobody was marking him, and he rifled one from 40 yards out into the top right-hand corner. Dubravka had absolutely no chance, and we're 1-0 down, and we've got, our work cut out, and it's going to be a long evening. And after that, we didn't really get settled, we didn't really keep our shape. Man City were always probing, always creating opportunities, and should really have been, so far ahead in the game. They just didn't make most of their opportunities, and we didn't really get started until, the half-hour mark when Rondon picked up the ball, and it was a great pass into Rondon, who somehow exclusively picked off where he left off, against Nottingham Forest, and he put in a really good ball across the box to Deandre Yedlin. What a run he made, and he blasted it right into the middle of the net, and it's 1-1, and you're like, come on, we don't deserve it, but we're back into the game. And after that, we didn't really attack City after that. We caused problems at the back, we were trying to sort of be positive, but it was all City, the Etihad, that's what they're about. And got into half-time, it was 1-1, and you're thinking to yourself, how are we actually drawing 1-1 with Man City at half-time? Because they were all over us. We couldn't really do anything going forward. It's because of the 5 at the back, who we didn't show enough on the ball. We were losing the ball far too easily. So anyway, going into the second half, Man City couldn't be any worse than they were in terms of finishing their chances. And Man City were just probing at every opportunity, and we closed them down for so long, but then we just sort of like caved in. And Kyle Walker, from a very similar angle to Raheem Sterling, picked up a ball, and he just lashed it from about 35 yards out, and just beat Dubravka at his far right-hand post, or left-hand post, should I say, and it's 2-1 to Manchester City. I can't say it wasn't coming. They fully deserved it. They were all over us. We had nothing to answer for, and like I say, you question the 5 at the back. You question Clark, Jamal Lascelles, Fernandes. Where are you lads? I mean, you're supposed to be picking these players out. You can't give Man City all the possession in the world, and they were just all over us. Rafa Benitez made a couple of changes. He brought off Rondon for Joselu. Didn't really do anything in the game. Jacob Murphy, nothing really happened. And then you look at Atsu. He created that opportunity, which was superbly turned away by David Silva. Aguero also had a chance to wrap it up in the 91st minute, where he put it. Well, it was a great spread by Dubravka, to spread himself correctly in the box. It was in the right place at the right time. And Man City, and Aguero had that another bite of the cherry, put it wide. And yeah, it was just sort of like one of those evenings for us. We could easily have lost the game, 3 or 4-1 before we even equalised. And I think it was always going to be a tough ask to get a point at the Etihad. We had a tough run in. But what more can we do? I don't think anybody really in a Newcastle shirt was good enough in terms of an attack and prowess. At the back, we looked all right at times, but not good enough. Especially if you're playing 5 at the back, you're giving Man City, too much respect, and that's what we did. So at the end of the day, we've just got to taken on board, and then, like I say, we've just got to move on now to Arsenal game and then see what happens. But yeah, like I say, we've just got to move on from it. Rafa Benitez, I'm sure, will play 5 at the back once more against Arsenal, and then it doesn't get any easier after that. So anyway, let us know your man of the match down below if there actually was one. And yeah, safe journey to any of the Newcastle fans travelling back. Hope you enjoyed the game, I suppose, for the stadium tour. And yeah, until the next one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and I'll see you all later. Bye.